Now this is a small problem where we have say one 10,000 units input in process A, 5% normal loss, actual output 9,200, direct wages 4,80,000, direct expenses 2,30,000. For process B, input is not given because output of process A will be the input of process B. Then 10% of the output input is normal loss, 8,500 is actual output, 3,60,000 wages of that process, and 2,19,600 is the expenses of that process. Yeah, told that output of process A is transferred to process B, and like that, prepare process accounts, normal loss account, and abnormal gain account, abnormal loss account. Let us see. Now working. Same working, 10,000 units input, 5% normal loss, so 500 of it 10,000. So 10,000 minus 500, 9,500 is the expected output. Actual output is given 9,200. So 300 units are loss more, that is extra loss. So 300 units are abnormal loss. Cost per unit, you'll see in the next table, actual account, the debit total is 17 lakh 10,000. You can see here 17 lakh 10,000 debit total, and credit total, normal loss is nil. So credit total is not there. So 17 lakh 10,000 divided minus nil. Credit side normal loss is having no value, divided by 9,500 expected output. So 180 is the cost per unit. So value of abnormal loss 300 into 180 is 54,000. Similarly, process B, this 9,200 output of process A becomes input for process B. 10% normal loss is 920 on 9,200. 9,200 minus 920, your expected output is 8280. When you compare that with the actual output of 8,500, actual output is more. So here there is a saving of 220 units of normal loss, which we call abnormal gain. And then now see process B, debit actually is 22 lakh 35,600. Here see 22 lakh 16 lakh 56,000 plus 3 lakh 60,000 plus 2 lakh 19,600 debit total minus credit side normal loss is nil. So actually this is 22 lakh 35,600 minus nil divided by expected output 8280. So the cost per unit is 270 multiplied by 220 abnormal gain units. The value of abnormal gain units is 59,400. Now let us see process account, process normal loss account, and abnormal loss, abnormal gain account. See, so to direct material 10,000 units, 100 rupee rate, 10 lakhs. To direct wages 4 lakh 80,000. To direct expenses 2 lakh 30,000. Total of debits are 17 lakh, that is debit total, minus normal loss. This normal loss is non-saleable, so rate is not given. And whenever it is non-saleable, it is nil. So 17 lakh 10,000 minus credit side total is nil, divided by expected output you 9,500. So our cost per unit is 180. And at this 180, we value abnormal loss, that is 300 units at the rate of 180, 54,000. And that actual output of 9,200 is transferred to process B at the rate of again cost per unit 180, that is 16 lakh 56,000, which you will see in the next slide on the debit side of process B accounts. Now see normal loss. Credit, we say by normal loss, 500 units, amount is nil. This comes on the debit side of normal loss, either down to process A 500, amount is nil. Now, actually, when this loss could be sold, on the credit side we write buy cash bank, but here we don't have anything, so we simply write buy costing P&L, that is also nil, and here normal loss is nil only. Now abnormal loss. On the credit side we have buy abnormal loss 300, and see that unit column always has to tally 10,000 on the debit side total of units, credit side 500 normal loss, 300 abnormal loss, and actual output 9,200. With that 300 abnormal loss at the rate of 80, we have transferred to debit side of abnormal gain. So to process A, 300 units at the rate of 180, and the amount is 54. Now friends, these abnormal loss units actually are always sold with the normal loss. So if normal loss cannot be sold, abnormal loss also cannot be sold. So this 54,000 worth abnormal loss units we cannot sell. So this entire 54,000 is a loss, and that is why it is transferred to costing P&L. So on the credit side of the account, we write by costing P&L 54,000. This is process A. Now let us see process B. Output of process A is 9,200 at the rate of 180. You see on the debit side of process B, plus process B has incurred 3,60,000 wages and expenses expenditure. Then on the credit side, again 10% of 9,200 normal loss, no saleable amount. So debit 16 lakh 56,000 plus 3 lakh 60 plus 2 lakh 19,600. This total minus nil divided by expected output. We have seen in the table 9,200 minus 920. That gives us cost per unit as 270. And at this 270, we have valued the actually units which are transferred to next process, and that is process C here. So from process B to process C, the units transferred are 8,500, that is actual, at the rate of CPU 270. And at this rate, see, now abnormal gain will always come on the debit side because there is a saving in the normal loss. So saving is by 220. So 920 plus 8,500, you get 9420. On the debit side, we had 9,200 as received from process A. So difference is of 220. This 220 is abnormal gain units. So 220 units, rate is CPU always, and then that value is 59,400. Now second effect of normal loss on the debit side, to process A, it is non-sellable, so rate is not given, so nil, and transfer to costing P&L also is nil. Now abnormal gain, it is on the process B account debit side. So credit side of abnormal gain, we write by process B, 220 at the rate of 270, 59,400. But you know, this is saving in the normal loss. So second effect of this, actually that entire 220 units, we write to the debit side as to actually process a normal loss, but then that entire amount is nil only, and that nil amount, so difference on the debit side, we have transferred 59,400 to costing P&L account. This is how normal loss, abnormal gain, and abnormal loss account is prepared.